never heard of. Hey everybody, welcome to the Common Folk Podcast with Ben, Morgan, and Andy.
All right, we're back with David Munoz. What's going on, man? You good?
Oh, yeah.
All right, we went through your background. That was pretty cool. Lots of very interesting stories. I guess by the time we get around to this, folks will know what we've done, but we might split this into 2 episodes. We'll see.
Okay.
But if so, then you're welcome back from last week. But if not, then welcome back from a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, there we go.
Just can't decide.
Covering all bases.
I mean, he's going to come back anyways, because I have a feeling that he has a lot of stories to share, and we could do probably like 5 more episodes.
I told you at the beginning when I met this guy, I'm like, this guy, he's a talker. He's got some, I can tell he's got some stories. Who do you think he would be
friends with of your friend group? Who am I thinking of right now? Pick his name out. They could be besties.
You're thinking of Luke.
Yes.
Obviously. One of our good buddies, the guy actually out at the Page tournament, we were running that smoker.
Yeah.
And I had told you my buddy who owns that smoker.
Yeah.
That's who she's talking about.
Yeah. You guys would have stories back and forth.
So I want to talk to just on the barbecuing side of things. Like when you guys were moving that thing when it was smoking, I'm like, dude, I never thought about that. Why not just start something and drive down the road while you're smoking, pork butt?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yep, that worked pretty good.
But when you guys started that on fire accidentally,
it
was Luke's rig. Why did you get burned? Why didn't he get burned?
Oh, he wasn't there.
Oh, he
wasn't. He was actually in the guard.
Oh, no.
Or he was on guard duty the whole time. So Ben ran the whole.
Okay. Yeah. He gets a pass.
That's why he
then.
burned his arm and stuck his hand in there.
I still got a mark.
Has a scar from it.
Yeah.
Right there.
Oh, shoot.
My thought, though, when you guys were talking about that was, how do you make golf better? Well, you add an AR to it.
100%,
right?
yeah.
So that thing was awesome. So, getting more onto Bravo Zulu, when me and Sean actually met at the drop zone, Sean had actually taken a break from skydiving there. And I want to say I joined the club in 2014, but I think I met him in 2015. And we kind of started jumping around. We just became friends just by proximity, being there. And right before the pandemic started, we actually almost started this. And then we had a meeting at Patriarch Distillery. Shay from 88 Tacticals there. There's a lot of local business owners there. Jeff, the owner of Patriarch Distillery, did a really great service by us by starting this thing. And really our first motto was, let's do gangster shit with our friends, let's just go out and have a bunch of fun and do a lot of ventures and stuff. We polished that to honor those who serve, right? So, when we started an organization,
it's a
little half step
That's
there.
A little bit better.
I don't know if anyone at the state of Nebraska, when you put your plan in, when you start an organization, if they actually read it. But I was like,
does it say gangster shit on it?
No, I wanted it to.
Why you do that? Doing gangsta shit's fun.
And that was actually, I was like, when we started saying that, I was like, I got a guy in mind, and his name's David too, but we taught him how to skydive this year. He's got a few more jumps left, but winter kind of came and gone too quick, or came in too quick, and he lives in Missouri. But that was a kind of the thing that we were kind of going towards, and we actually then met at Sean's house and got drunk and ate pizza. Woke up the next day and Sean filed the paperwork. So,
So you guys were thinking like, man, we want to do something somewhat constructive with our time, but we want to have fun. So you start thinking you're going to create this organization, and then you start realizing like, oh, okay, if we want this to be legitimate, we better like actually make it legitimate. So you start thinking about all those different ways about it. The name, how does that come about?
Yeah, so we are actually kind of doing a little bit of this stuff. If you even Google my name since 2016, we've been helping veterans here and there. Mm-hmm. Both of our wives are nurses that went through the pandemic. So we had, not only are all 3 of us veterans, we have family members that are first responders, and then wives that are healthcare workers as well too. Mm-hmm. So that was the kind of the tie-in. But just seeing the healing power of just adventures and stuff. Skydiving's an easy one. which she told off air that you're going to jump with us.
I don't know about that. She
Look at
might.
his
She might
face.
be.
Yeah.
I don't know about me, but yeah.
And that's kind of what we were kind of going towards. And like I said, in 2018, I was writing down names and stuff.
Yeah.
Naming something is a big deal, right? You know,
Sure.
and even like talking with Shay when we first started this, you know, he's like, you know, don't worry so much about that, you know, because look at me, you know, I started way back as this, and now I'm this, you know.
Yeah. Just start. Do it.
Yeah.
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 But Sean's a little bit particular about things, and that's kind of
so
why.
he's kind of like Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
A little particular.
That's kind of how we kind of like that dynamic. Even when we, you know, one nice thing about like former military personnel, 99.9% of the time they can be honest about their strengths, you know, and their weaknesses. And I'm like, I don't want to be sending emails. I'm not spelling or anything like that. Like I know a guy, dude, because I've been in the nonprofit space for, you know, almost 20 years. So Sean's kind of like the legal type dude, you know. He's like can read stuff, follow directions. He filed all our paperwork. We didn't use a lawyer or anything. He
Perfect.
did everything for us. But he's like, yeah, I just read it and then I know what to do and I'm just going to do it. And I'm like, okay,
Sweet.
man.
Definitely need that guy on the team.
Yeah,
The old legal
yeah.
beagle.
And then Dylan was going to be kind of like our workhorse guy because he's younger and, you know, a lot eager to do everything, you know. And so, yeah, we basically kind of polished it up. And it was funny because I actually almost started a nonprofit called Veterans Parachute Jumpers Group a while ago. And I didn't go through with it, but the lawyer had actually filed the paperwork. So he actually took that and inserted our name and changed our things to kind of fit what we're doing.
Okay.
And one of the biggest things, too, that I like kind of about what we're doing is that we include first responders, healthcare workers, and their families. So I know we were talking a little bit off air. We did a big super tandem event. And so Paul from Nebraska Brewing Company and his two sons came down there, which we're brewing a beer with them, too. They got a test batch in. So
Sweet.
we got a couple different ideas.
Can you
but
divulge any of that info yet?
we're kind of shooting for a Vienna type lager.
Okay.
It's not been tried or anything yet. You know, we had a meeting with them because kind of a full circle story. Like I told you, I'm good at full circle stories, or even like a dark Mexican lager type thing, which Mexican beers are getting super popular.
Oh, yeah.
Their Taco Vesa beer,
Yeah, it's
Boom,
great.
right
Yeah.
You guys
beer.
are pointing at something, and I don't even see it.
so good.
That's Jabron's favorite. That's
Yeah.
his go-to.
Yeah,
it
it's
is
so
good.
good. And I mean, the whole we first started our thing. We went and had a meeting with them just to see, because we want to work with local things in our local community because
Sure.
we're a local,
Yeah.
you know, nonprofit.
And you guys like beer?
Yeah. And he actually
Clearly.
said, you guys want to ever use the space, let us know. And we're like, hell yeah, man, we use that space, you know, there's a little room there like 3 times already, you know, and it's really great, you know. And that's like a big help to an organization to have a space to hold an
Yeah,
event, you know.
that
and,
is awesome.
And he doesn't charge us any money, so, which is great for him because our target audience are drinkers. So I think
Yeah.
the first thing we had,
Yeah.
the first event we had was like our kickoff, like, hey, here's who we are, come hang out with us, you know. And he was like, how many people are in your show? I'm like, 40 or 50. And even then, like, the other guys were like, how many friends do you got? You know, like, I only got like 10 people coming. Over 200 people showed up.
Oh.
Holy cow.
Yeah. And you think if 200 people have, you know, 3 beers, you know,
Yeah.
that bartender was happy.
Smart.
No,
Yeah.
that was-
Jeez.
I really enjoyed having Kim on.
Yeah.
Paul's wife. And
Yeah, she's
so
sweet.
sincere. And she,
Yeah.
I don't know. It struck me when she's like, Paul will reach out to anybody, an organization,
Yeah.
you know, like-minded, and he will help. If he
Oh,
can help, he will
yeah.
help. So
Well, and it was funny because when we first started this, I used to work at another full circle story is when I first started skydiving. I'm not a very patient person, and so I just took out a $10,000 personal loan. I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna go travel, skydive, buy all brand new gear. You know, at that time, a full rig was like $8,000. You know, plus helmet, altimeter, traveling down to Florida and some other drop zones. And then I was like, in the wintertime, I'll just wait tables and pay all that back out. That's what I did in high school at Carson Kelly's in Grinnell.
Mhm.
You know, I was making like $750 a week doing that. So I'm like, oh, excuse me. I was like, I'll pay this off in no time. So I got a job actually at Granite City, which the kitchen manager, when I was working there, is the managing partner of the Texas Roadhouse Pavilion. So when we first started this group, he's like, you guys come try this VIP lunch thing with us, you know? So we went there, and Quality Brands of Omaha, which is a local beer distributing, was there. And Jimmy Edwards was there, and he was pouring beer. So one of the first beers we had as a legal entity was Negro Modelo. And so when we met with Paul and they were talking about doing something like that, or Vienna Lager, we're like, dude,
Boom.
this is kind of how we,
Nice.
for our first thing we ever did,
Yeah,
as
we
Bravo
have to.
Zulu group.
Yeah.
So, because they were like, is that something you guys maybe like? And we're like, hell yeah,
And Granite City is a brewery downtown Omaha.
Yeah.
Nice place.
Yeah, it closed down a few years ago, I think, or whatever.
A lot of
but
things
yeah.
closed down.
Yeah.
That serve food.
Yeah.
In
a
that
few
time
years ago.
frame.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're closed.
Yeah,
okay.
they're closed, which sucks.
Oh.
Is I think the mall kind of opening up places in there kind of hurt them a little bit because all the TD Ameritrade folks would always come in there, and
Oh yeah.
dinner was busy. But then all those other places started opening up.
Yeah.
So what year did you guys start the organization?
Technically 2022,
Okay.
November of 2022 is when we first filed the paperwork. I think it was December when it was all come back
So
approved.
you guys are basically a year in right now.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
so then with that, you don't just do like parachuting. I mean, it's like all of the above.
Yeah,
I mean, what
yeah.
falls under that? How do you guys decide what?
Like if someone wanted to reach out to you guys, like someone from the community,
Yeah.
Military, first responders, that their families, the folks that you guys serve, and what
can you
type
offer
of
them?
folks? What should they be looking for? What
Yeah.
type of folks should be reaching out to you guys?
So basically, anyone, even we're not like a charity, right? We're just a nonprofit. So whether you are kicking rocks or you're killing it at work, it's always great to get away, right? So you can visit our website, bzag.org, and there's a little contact form. We actually had a guy's father reach out to us, and we got him on a tandem skydive.
Oh, cool.
Through that, he's like, "Oh man, my son could really use something like this." We're like, "Dude, set us up, man. Like, have him email me, And I think within a week we had him out doing a tandem skydive. But skydiving is a really popular thing. It's not so much an easy button for us, but we're all skydiving instructors. We have the equipment. So that was kind of a quick first adventure. Scuba diving is one that we've worked on. We've took about 5 nurses during Nurses Week scuba diving. Now that the weather's cold, we're gonna do a few more of those. We're working on some shooting sports. I'm working on trying to get a rifle, and then maybe like a long range rifle, and then build up some multiple 3-gun shotguns, pistols, things like ARs, things like that. Because one of my goals too is, and this is kind of how we're operating right now because we don't have a lot of capital to work with. Is you come up with an idea, you got to fundraise it. There's not a pool of money we grab from.
Yeah.
When we did stickers and some other things like that, we're like, yeah, take that out of the main pool. But one of my goals for next year is I secretly want to get a group of nurses and turn them into gunslingers for like 3-gun matches, and then like take them places and be like, who can we be?
That'd be crazy.
My wife's lethal with the 3-gun. She's done a couple of them. She's pretty good at it.
This stuff's so fun.
Yeah.
It really is. And shooting's kind of a therapeutic thing in the first place. And there's a lot of our target audience that like military veterans, maybe they're kind of, that was one of the concerns when we had that AR golf ball launcher. Like, oh man, we got a lot of veterans here. And I'm like, it'll be okay. Like if anyone
It
has a
actually
problem,
was pretty quiet.
yeah, it's like if anyone, we kind of really didn't ask permission. There's a guy that used to
don't do that.
skydive with us. He's like, it'll be okay.
I was honestly surprised that you guys
Yeah.
showed up with it because we were involved in the like a lot of the pre-planning, and we were gonna do one as
We were gonna buy
the
one.
Page Foundation,
Yeah.
and everyone kind of decided like, I don't know, let's not get into that this year. I don't know, maybe people won't like it. Maybe it's too loud. Maybe
Well, we
it's
talked
whatever.
about they were going to do a cannon, like a big cannon launcher,
They had-
and that's
I think they
like
had done
too
that the year before.
Yeah.
alerting.
So
like,
we didn't end up, getting into it. Well, then I see you guys across the course doing it, and I'm like, what? Somebody brought one?
Yeah,
And it went over well.
we had shot
Yeah, it
that
was
thing
great.
one time before
Really?
we brought it
Hey.
over there too, and because we shot at the drop zone, a different drop zone, before taking it out there. But the first shot that they did, it went over that highway.
yeah, I saw
It
that.
was pretty long. I was like,
Give it a
okay, yeah,
shot.
let's shoot straight,
yeah.
So essentially, if I'm hearing what you're saying, your guys is obviously you guys are in your infancy. You're
Yep.
just kind of getting things rolling and you're figuring out everything you're doing. But basically you just want to give folks an opportunity to do gangster shit.
Yeah.
Like just like have fun. Like here, if you want to get your mind, you're out here serving every day in whatever the capacity is, and you want to get your mind off of it. You want to go try something new. You want to have fun. Give us a shout.
Yep. And
the families, like you said too. So
yeah, and their families.
The wives are like, oh my god.
So we had a veteran's like, hey, when you say in families, do you really mean it? I'm like, yeah. So we took his daughter skydiving, and something I found out with doing Big Brothers and Big Sisters all those years ago, to even a couple years ago with Wounded Warrior Project.
Mm-hmm.
Parents are just so proud, and I'm not a parent, but they get when you take someone deer hunting, or one of the Wounded Warrior guys took his I think it was his son scuba diving with them at the dive ventures in the pool.
Yeah,
he was so proud.
Yeah,
he was
so
telling
true.
everybody.
As a parent, like we're parents. It's like
Yeah.
you just do.
Yeah.
You get
and
so proud.
So that was a big and families thing, and that veteran was, I mean, he told everybody. I mean, we should have paid that guy for advertising for us. He told everybody, about it, and it was just so awesome. And he's get to connect with his family. We get to meet him and hang out with him.
Yeah.
And we took his daughter on a tandem skydive. So like
that's sweet.
That's kind of thing. We don't really want to leave anyone out, in our target audience. So that the and family is the thing, and then it's if you go to our webpage too, and social events. So we don't want to take someone on a skydive or go scuba diving and then be like, all right, see you home, and then they're back on their couch, kicking rocks or eating Cheetos or whatever they do. So we do events where we go, like we went to the Winchester. They have great cheeseburgers. We did things. We do stuff at Nebraska Brewing Company. We just did a cornhole tournament there. So this year, to kind of expand, because that's been really popular with us, and just sitting around shooting the bull, and we're working on, like I said, I shoot my mouth off. So beer was one of the things when we went with quality brands. They actually called up Paul, like, hey, these guys want to do a beer, you know that? And he's like, yeah, I know. Like, I've met with them. So we're doing the beer, but
I got your distribution.
yeah. Also, we're trying to get into cigars, even if we get somewhere we can put our own band on it, and then like coffee, certain things like that. Because our end goal for next year, which Sean's working on, we got a lot of fundraising to do, because it's probably going to be about a $20,000 project, but we want to create a trailer where we can go to these events and have the TV and have our beer on tap and have a cantina. Like we're going to get a Munoz trailer so we can have all the bourbon and drinks and stuff like that. So
to like paint a picture to it, you get that trailer set up, has your logo all over it, all the gangster shit that we're talking about.
yeah.
Would a typical event be like, hey, we're going to be at this golf tournament and we're going to come flying out of the sky, rockets, all the fun stuff, and then we're going to hang out and everybody's going to shoot around a golf or whatever? Is that kind of your vision?
Yeah. I mean, even things from that to car shows. We worked with the Auto Care Alliance out of Lincoln. We were supposed to jump into the Salt Dog Stadium. The air traffic control kind of screwed us
I was
on
wondering
there.
about that. That's what I think we need to do, Ben, to tie everything together, what we're kind of working on here. We'll have Eric Burgett come out and do a concert on a football field, and these guys are going to kick it off. You'll do a tandem, bring Eric in, right?
Oh, that would be bomb.
I mean, I'm talking all of it, and if you guys, want to take me too, you can.
Or me.
Whatever.
So we actually, and what's great too is there's so many organizations that I didn't know existed, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Because of the Corporal Dagan Page thing, we met another guy that actually was a skydiver back in the day. He worked for the PGA Hope, which you guys do know what that is?
Works with the PGA, the
I
golf.
was gonna say
They take
huge.
veterans for like 8 weeks or 8 months or something, teach them how to golf, and then they do a big golf tournament. And there's
Oh.
chapters all over the place.
That's
cool.
Yeah.
So their big tournament was at the country club in Lincoln, and so we tandemed him and brought in the American flag.
Perfect.
With
That's
it.
so cool.
And it's funny that you say rockets too.
Yeah, like a grin.
I wasn't leaving anything out.
I mean, we something we're gonna work on. Again, it's expensive venture, but we have our pyrotechnics license. So
Nice.
it originally started to be able to jump with sparklers and fireworks, skydiving. But essentially have a license to go buy the biggest firework you can and shoot one.
Yeah.
Where we would do it, we have no idea how to do it. We're not there yet, but we have the license.
Could you guys?
Don't we have a connection to Bellino somehow?
No, what I was going to say was, can you?
I'm just saying.
All right, that's fine. Can you guys would you be able to be employed to come out to, say, like a high school football game and do like a fireworks show?
Yeah, so that's something we want to do. We got the license to do it, and I've worked with a guy through another nonprofit and kind of see how he's doing things. But that's something where we're getting to.
So we got to do that. We got to link up on that.
Yeah.
Well,
like even you can buy for something like that. It doesn't have to be this crazy
for sure,
spectacle.
100%, yeah.
You're looking at $5,000 in fireworks, and they're all preset. They come preset.
But what folks don't realize with things like that, so if you have that license and all those things, is that if you don't, so we're just a bunch of dads, and we want to go out behind the scoreboard and launch fireworks.
Yeah.
There's all of these different rules and obligations and fire controls and all this kind of stuff. But when you have what you guys have, then
and that really stemmed from we wanted to jump with fireworks on our feet. With this the demo skydiving thing, and we're trying to figure out how to capitalize on it. Because if you're a business, why don't you have a custom canopy, or why don't you have a flag, or why isn't your gear?
Yeah.
Like the Golden Knights jumped in the Husker football stadium like 8 years ago. People still talk about it. People still show me pictures. Mm-hmm. And it's a decent investment up front. Like a custom canopy is probably going to be $5,000, but that can last like 10 years, if you take care of it. So
pretty cool.
And we're kind of working towards some of that. We met with Jesse from Wheels for Warriors, and he's like, man, I want to do a canopy. He's like, let me see yours. And we're like, ooh. Oh, dang, we don't have a Bravo Zulu one. So we're actually working for fundraising for that right now.
So that reminds me, we somehow we skipped over this because we start talking about a bunch of other different things.
Yeah.
So where did the name come from?
It's easy to go. This is why
someone's listening like, God dang it, I just want to know.
When you said you try to keep things to an hour, I'm like, this is not going to go good.
Yeah.
So I this is something that I've been wanting to do, and when I met Sean, it's something that he was really passionate about and he's thought about over the years. So I had this big book of names, right? And I think, Patriot, everything is over. I got two buddies that are veterans, Patriot Homebrew Supply, Patriot Customs Decks.
Yes, sure. Yeah.
I just think it's, kind of
saturated.
It's overused, right? And then you try to look at mythical creatures or something like Phoenix or something. Everyone's got Phoenix things, So, and these are the kind of the names that these are names that I've come up with, before a lot of this stuff even came about. And so we're sitting down, drinking beer, eating a Little Caesar pizza. And Sean's like, hey, what about this? He goes, Bravo Zulu. And I was like, dang, I like that. What's the meaning behind it? Has it got any meaning, And they're actually maritime flags. So Bravo is a red flag, and then Zulu's black, yellow, red, and blue. And it means well done. So like naval flag signaling. And he's a Marine, right? So it means well done or job well done for flag signaling. So we're like, dang, let's do it. And there's a lot of Bravo Zulu things out there. So I don't think you're going to escape naming conventions. But
right.
I was like, dude, that fits in perfect with what we're doing.
I like that.
Yeah, so that's how we
I like the going back to the trailer thing, because honestly, I just saw something on Instagram that you can make a lot of money, like rolling in with a trailer at like, I'm not saying you're doing weddings, but this was like, and you serve alcohol, and then you just, you know what I mean? But it could be like some cool pimped out thing at an event. You know what I mean?
Your alcohol license comes with your pyrotechnician
license,
right?
Well,
it's one of the.
So that's the
probably not.
Well, and that's the hard thing is I'm about ready to get to retire here with the military, and a lot of people are like, dude, that's all you ever know. And I'm like, dude, I'm not short on freaking ideas, man. Like, you know how many ideas? I was like, and people accuse me like, dude, you're all over the place. You need to pick one thing. And I was like, I'm not ever going to do that. Cecil's man can tell me that. If I do 1% of my dreams, like it's going to be insane. I'll be a huge successful person, right? Mm-hmm. But that was one of those things is I wanted to get a mobile bar.
Yeah,
like a horse trailer, like make it look like it's got shit in it and everything.
Out and I
wanted to call it, and I came up with this idea 5 years ago, and I was going to call it Horse and Around Bar because a lot of
now you gave somebody an idea.
I know, yes, that's on.
You swing out that side gate, like, oh shit,
come on in.
When I first met my wife too, we actually wrote all this out, like check all this out, like on a whiteboard. Like I got an easel, I got a picture of it. You guys should see it. It's pretty comical, but.
Of all your ideas?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Fireworks, whiskey, horse trailer, beer. Yeah.
Well, back in the time, a lot of my friends were still going out random pastures and just drinking beer and hanging out.
Yeah.
And it seems weird, but God, dude, some of the greatest times ever has just been, let's go to the spot drink beer, and there's nothing out there.
Yeah.
There ain't shit.
Moon Tower.
So true, though.
Yeah.
Just go to an open field.
Yeah, so that was kind of where I got that concept from, and then it evolved into even doing a trailer, like make it like a teal trailer. So if women want to have like a brunch date, I roll up in this trailer and mimosas and all wine, French toast and all. Man, I have a business plan written for it and everything. But
he's full of ideas.
Oh yeah,
rodeos would eat that up, man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of rodeos during
and
the
he
summer.
said French toast. Oh my gosh,
yeah,
that's
I
awesome.
love French toast.
Like
I do like French toast.
I actually don't. But
secretly want to be a chef and have a restaurant, and it'd be all over the place. But I promise you, everyone would have a good time there. But try this next time. Do you even just go home and make French toast? Buy some thick cut bread or whatever you can, or just even use regular bread. Toast it first, dip in eggs, then
do it?
Toast it first.
Changes everything.
I'm getting better. Like, it's not like we make it, but it's definitely at the very bottom of what I would eat. But if you put a little
I never think to do
sugar
it.
on
I think it's awesome.
you really should.
I like to put peanut butter
Cinnamon and
between
sugar.
them too.
Oh, that's good.
So good. Yeah.
Maybe this weekend.
So is your wife like? Is she opposites attract? So if she was here, would she be like super quiet, like sitting?
She
in the
wouldn't even
corner
be in
just
here.
hanging
She'd
out?
be out there reading a book. Or
Yeah. See,
Okay, so she
I knew
is.
it. See, I knew it.
You couldn't have two of you. Like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
the heck? That
Yeah.
wouldn't work.
Oh, we'd be
So
never
maybe
sleep.
he wouldn't be friends with Luke.
Well, no, they would be friends. They just wouldn't be lovers.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Like,
true.
even when we,
Well,
Let's not cap
yeah,
everything.
I mean, it's a new world
Hey,
today.
he is recently divorced. You know?
It is a new world today.
He's gonna love this episode. So back to Bravo Zulu. You brought some stuff with you. What are you doing with these folks here? Let's start with the book. What's going on here?
Yeah. So, Swords of Lightning. So this is all the horse soldier.
Okay. So it's
horse soldier
all
bourbon.
part of
yeah,
the
it's
deal.
all
Yep.
it's all part
Okay.
of it. So you got part of the authors there is Mark Newts and Bob Bennington.
Unbelievable story.
Yeah, great story. And you can't meet all your heroes, right? Like that'd be impossible. But these guys are just the coolest dudes. Like just, you hear the stories and you're like, oh, these guys are, even Jocko. I bet you can hang out with Jocko and you steak and be like just going out with your buddies,
Mm-hmm.
Same
Can
thing
you
with-
tell the horse soldier story in like a window or?
Yeah, I'll do it
okay.
quick. So basically, 9/11 happened within a few days. These teams were deployed. That was their area of operation. So they were deployed to Afghanistan as America's first response to that. And that's where the movie 12 Strong come from.
Have we seen that?
No, we need to watch it.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely watch it. It's they Hollywood it up a little bit, but
Do
it gets the premise
Of
of,
course,
it. And
yeah.
you can go on YouTube and watch everything. You can even these guys actually did a little retreat in Yellowstone, and that's how this was born from that
Oh.
retreat. And you can go watch that. I think it's on Prime or something. I'll have to get to it's Legends or something. And then a lot of the stuff's on YouTube too.
Okay.
Which is great because not to divulge a lot of different stuff, but I think Alex's signature is on some of these.
Yeah, I saw
that new spy movie on. He's the CIA guy for that team. He's portrayed in that movie. Retired Green Beret CIA. Basically recruited him right when he got retired. Super awesome dude. And what's crazy is all these dudes are a little dorky. And Alex, he races Ducatis and stuff. Super, most greatest dude. But you look at this guy and you're like, that dude's like a steely-eyed killer. And
Dude,
but
some
he's
of the
such a
biggest
good dude.
badasses are like that.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, in baseball, like Greg Maddux, man, little dude with glasses.
Yeah.
Man, struck more guys out than you'd believe.
And if he watches this, hopefully he doesn't come and get me. But just the greatest dude ever. Races Ducati motorcycles. Such a good dude. But
So their unit.
Yeah. So they went over there, basically, started the global war on terror. Were real successful with it. They got another book kind of out about them too. It's called The First Casualty, with Mike Spann, which was part of the team, which kind of got him into the book writing realm too, because these guys had to take a little bit of a nudge, to share their stories and stuff like that too, just like with everyone else. But they started this bourbon, and this is how I got into bourbon, which has been a very inexpensive venture.
Sure.
What's the name Horse Soldier?
So one of the first images that got back to the president was 21st century soldiers, special forces operators on horseback, And so he actually kind of coined the term, like, who is that? Is that the horse soldiers? So that's kind of where they got that.
And what, do you have any idea why they were on horseback or what was going on with that?
Yeah, just a train in Afghanistan, the mountains. You don't drive vehicles, you know, up there. And then, I mean, they deployed within a few days, so getting vehicles there was not really an option for them either.
So it's quicker than foot, but
so when they met, when they met the Northern Alliance, they were on horseback. So they did everything on them. And you got to understand, like, this is a whole nother culture over there. Because even I was talking with Bob one time, because I have medical issues just from the water from Ramadi. They weren't actually cleaning it properly. So I said something, and I was like, hey, man, you know, like, I'm just curious, you know, like, what do you guys do for water and food? Like, how did you guys survive that, you know? Because, I mean, you want a piece of duck, you go, or chicken or whatever, this chicken's hanging on the side of the road, people are driving by it, you know? And they're like, oh, yeah, how much you want? And cut you off. That's how they get their food, right? It's no refrigeration.
Sure.
oh my gosh.
No cleaning, like, they clean stuff in the river, and they just go like this. There's no soap or nothing, right? So very different culture over there. And, well, they were getting airdropped some food and water, and they had to stop doing it because they thought they were doing something sneaky. Like, why are you drinking that water when you can just go to the river and drink that water?
Oh.
You know, why are you getting your food when we give you food? Why
live like us. You're gonna. Yeah.
It was almost like an insult
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah. Kind of like they're a little suspicious of it, you know. And that water tore them up, you know. Just you're in, you know, there's so much different bacteria and things, and you know, and a lot of places over there, which is why I'm kind of jaded on traveling sometimes. Like, oh, how do you get rid of your trash? You throw it in the river because it just, you know, you get rid of your oil, you just dump it in the river because it just goes down the river. You know, they don't realize what they're doing.
Right.
So yeah, basically, that's where the name was coined, horse soldiers. The statue on here, there's a statue with this that's the same that's at Ground Zero.
It's a striking,
such an
image.
awesome label
because you're
like,
used to seeing horse soldier. I thought of the play, and that's colonial times where soldiers were on horseback. The guy's carrying an AR-15.
Yeah,
you know, in modern day.
Yeah,
guerrilla warfare.
Radios and AR-15s, man. Yeah. This unit was extremely deadly with just that. You know, they're not these. You know, people. You know, I carried all this other stuff, but you look at operators; they're carrying a rifle and 3 magazines. You know, because they realize they have a lot more assets.
And these are all different. You said.
Yeah. There's a straight, a small batch, and then a barrel shot.
Yeah. See, that means nothing to me.
Yeah.
But you guys would all get
didn't
it.
to me either.
But now you're.
That's just amazing.
I like to be educated on things, but at the same time, I like to keep it real. Like, how many people know the difference between rye and wheated? So this is called bourbon whiskey.
Okay.
So there's a distinction between just whiskey and bourbon.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So like.
Yeah, he would know that.
Yeah. So like,
to me, it's all stuff I don't really like.
In America, there's rules to this
Big
stuff,
rules,
right?
barrels, all of it.
And I probably should learn a little bit more. But.
It's just kind of some cool history about like how it came up and how it got its name. And really similar, like, you know, with the pride that goes along with like the military forces and the different branches and so on and so forth. Like, it's called this because it's called this.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, this is the
Where's
way
this being made at?
So American Freedom Distilleries, they got a couple different places, but really their home is that their building is in Somerset, Kentucky. They took over an old golf course, invested like $200 million into that.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, they got a distill house in St. Petersburg, Florida, which is super awesome. Which is really funny. So these guys are Green Berets, right? They have a team room, and they're like just like anywhere else. You know, everyone's got their kind of team rooms or stuff. So you go to their team rooms, awesome down there. We got invited there a couple times, but I was talking with Scotty Neal, and we had Grunt Style owners there as well too. Myself, the president of Round Canopy Parachute Team, which this was first introduced to me. It's another nonprofit. And these guys are Green Berets, right? They're like, why can't we just make bourbon and sell it everywhere? Nope. There's rules to distributing and stuff. It is insane. Like, this just recently got to Nebraska. It was in Kansas all the time because the commander of this team actually lives in Kansas, so they got it there pretty quickly. But yeah,
it takes a while.
The learning.
Well, Kim said that too with Nebraska Brewing.
Yeah,
even with
we talked a little bit about that. Yeah.
We talked about that when she was in here. How you've got rules to follow.
Yeah. Basically, you have to sell some of your company for distributing because there's couple the biggest distributors of wine company essentially, and they can get you in all the states.
They want some rights to it.
Yeah,
if they're going to distribute it, you gotta give a little to get a little there.
It's crazy how that works.
Now, when I went to your guys' website, bzag.com, and I think you're the first picture there.
.org.
Yeah, nonprofit or not nonprofit
organization.
Yes, get that right. But your picture, you're in this air, falling terminal velocity with the American flag over your head, and you're in your Army duds, right? And the song American Badass is just going through my head. And I'm thinking, man, all you need is some long hair swinging and your middle finger in the air.
Yeah.
And then the more you talk and you're bringing us bourbon and cigars, I'm like, Jesus Christ, the song's louder and louder.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that was actually Sean jumping our 800 square foot American flag. We're trying to, like I said, it's an expensive adventure doing the demo things. But like with Corporal Dagan page stuff, it's just unreal. Like, I even told Sean when we started doing this, I was like, I would pay my own money to do this outside the organization. So like, let's not that be a factor. We tried to set some limits on how much our own money we would do. Which went out the window right away.
Well, there's no doubt that the show that you guys put on, and that's
amazing.
not even what you were trying to do.
Yeah.
It's just that you guys were just trying to honor and be a part of it. It was badass.
And to be honest with you, I mean, that's just basic. It's guys flying a flag. We want to. We need about $10,000 to build a fleet, but we essentially want to flock with 3 people flying 450 square foot American flags, and then the Gold Star flag, or whatever flag we need, POW, whatever. But we bought that Gold Star flag, sadly we used it quite a bit for events this year. But that's just surreal. And I always try to pay attention to how people react, even at Corporal Dagan page. Yeah, they're like, I mean, there's explicitives and stuff going out there, but extremely proud moment. It gives everyone pause to really think what's going on. Yeah. Plus, it's great for the organization, social medias, things like that, too. So it's just an all-circle thing. Right. It's just really great.
Well, it's an event. Absolutely. You guys make an event of it, and everyone's leaving there with some emotions, and you're going to talk about it and bring it up, and, that network just expands almost exponentially after seeing something like that.
And something we did with Bottles and Barrels, we did a tandem into town. Basically, the guy that won backed out right away. And we told the owner of Bottles and Barrels, Jimmy, hey, if this dude backs out, you have to go. He's like, I'm in, dude, I'm in. I'm like, everyone says that, dude, but because there's paperwork and things you have to do, and you can't really change those names, within 10 days of it. So, which stressed us out. The whole thing stressed us out, but we learned a lot. But now at Corporal Dagan page, they raffled off a tandem into the afternoon on next year. I think we're going to try to do maybe another one. Maybe try to get Corporal Dagan Page's mom on maybe one of them or something
Wendy?
Like that. So,
That'd be crazy.
I think she would be down, but...
she would do it.
That's the day way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing those tandem skydives for demos is going to be a real big thing. And I have a rig that I bought with my own money. They're about $15,000, but we're hopefully maybe trying to get one sponsored, or maybe we'll put Velcro on the rig and try to do various things, because it's just... for social media and just talking and stuff, it's just extremely popular.
Well, if you get the rockets and the fireworks, call me.
Yeah.
So, until then, I don't know.
Until then, you're out.
So we've been talking about all this whiskey. I mean, we're going to drink it, right?
Yeah. I brought 3
no,
right
it's
here
just
to try.
for show.
So this is, like I said, this has been an adventure just getting into bourbon. And it was funny when we started this nonprofit, and Sean's like, let's do bourbon stuff. Let's do bourbon raffle. And I'm like, it is not going to work out the way you think it is. This is... something you think tastes wonderful, absolutely is not. And there's different styles, and things look similar, and people will buy shit and then raise the prices, and so he's got it figured out. I mean, he's we're getting ready we're ramping up, looking for bourbon for our April one, and Sean's like, I want to have the best bourbon raffle that's ever been in Nebraska. We're 1 letter away from having a full set Blanton. We got $500 bottle of the Boss Hog X. We got we're going to have, if we keep going the way we're going by April, we'll probably have $10,000 worth of bourbon in that raffle.
Nice.
And we're going to create a party, not a party, but a social event around it where we can eat and we're going to sell tickets online, but,
I think that's a great way to go because I'm big into Pheasants Forever. I think I'm wearing the hat, right?
Yeah.
And one of the best events I ever gone to was at a speakeasy. Everyone just smoking cigars, drinking bourbon, hanging out, and bouncing ideas.
Where's this event going to be?
We got a couple different venues in mind. We're hoping to maybe do it at Quality Brands. So we did a tour of their place. They're a small family-owned distributing place, but really awesome people. And they got like a showroom essentially for booze.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, dang, this is, we went to all their meetings. Their Omaha and Lincoln branch, they donated some money to us. The Folds of Honor, the Bud Light cans, all the proceeds from that area are getting donated to our nonprofit as well too.
Gotcha.
Cool.
And so we're hoping we can have it there. We got to work with them on some scheduling stuff. But essentially we can have Oscars or some catering or something, or maybe even talk to you folks if you guys want
for sure, man.
Cater something in. And I mean, they got all their
That'd be sweet.
brands on tap there, and we'll have some whiskeys to try and stuff like that.
Cool.
And it's just a large room. So, because last time we did it in one of Sean's friends' garage, and there's some families and stuff there, but like, man, everyone's like, what? I wanted to come and drink bourbon while we're trying to win bourbon.
That's cool. So you mentioned earlier that you forgot the cups.
Yeah.
Right. So we've got it. We got you. Even though
Don't worry.
Morgan spoiled it earlier.
Sorry.
All right, so let's move this over. So we got this little secret compartment
Well,
here.
if anyone's listened, they know that we have this in the table.
And folks who are going to be watching on YouTube will be able to kind of see how all this unfolds. But let's check this out real quick.
Hopefully nothing jumps out of there.
Oh, dang.
Boom.
So for you, we've got these copper cups. You guys take those. Those are from a company that we work with called Handle Bend in Nebraska. Might be a cool organization for you guys to work with as well. They hand make all that copper stuff.
Here's the thing is, I'm coming broke because everyone's tied in with someone.
Every time you see something,
And you're going to need two of those, too.
I mean, we're working on building the bar in my house just because Old Southern Brass, I got their AR thing, and I got one for my wedding. I got decanters and stuff, and like we got a living room right when you walk in. The whole back wall is going to be a bar, and now I got to get some of these.
You got to get those, yeah.
They are good.
So we worked with them for a while at the beginning of the podcast and had a bunch of gift sets we were giving folks. And I wish we had another one for you, but it's just high quality, nice stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I liked about the Old Southern Brass. So like glasses these days, man, they're just cheap cookie cutter stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I even started to, preparation for retirement. Like I've tried a few different things and find things from the people that actually make it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm like, I got 5 of these glasses that just got other people's crap on them, But
Right.
like these are the things that it's a heavy glass, it's thick, it's they make
Real.
every one of them.
Yeah.
Real deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm kind of going towards, and that's actually really hurting my pocketbook because like Old Southern Brass, they make glasses and stuff. I mean, their glass is a little thicker than this. It's a heavy glass. Like
Sure.
when you pick it up, you're like,
Mm-hmm.
dang, I got a real glass
Yeah,
in my
you know
hand.
it's real. Yeah.
But in the long run, you're not going to buy another little shitty one that's going to break on
exactly.
you in 2 years. You know what I mean? So you do get it back, but that initial cost, like, whoa.
Pay for it up front.
Yeah.
Well, and it's great to share a story, like just sharing the story with this, and then you have these. Like these would be perfect for a cantina to just share.
Well,
the story.
And these dudes did the whole 9 yards. They revitalized an old rundown building on Main Street, O'Neill, Nebraska. They, purchased it, built it back up, gave it new life, kind of helped bring back Main Street, the whole 9 yards. You know what I mean?
Take this with you.
Yeah.
So, no, the great organization, really good dudes.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't going
get
to
into
drink
it.
any, but
And,
I'll have a little.
know,
So which is
and,
there one that's lighter?
Yeah. So I think you should honestly.
It's just like beer. Can I have a
So,
light beer? That
yeah.
one looks light.
So you're gonna have to try all of them because
Oh,
there's a reason.
no,
There's a
I
reason.
have to function later and go to.
So a sample, not you'll be all right after sampling all these.
Okay.
And you just pour enough just to get a taste. We're not like shooting up a whole thing here, but I just noticed like even with bottles and barrels, a lot of women are actually getting into bourbons now. And then also like tequila's becoming a big
Does it make
thing.
you grow hair on your chest?
Which I
don't
just
really know if
spent
I
like $100 on a bottle of tequila, so I'm already starting that game. But this Holster bourbon, they're in the ultra premium bourbon brand, right? So like when they first started, a lot of veterans were like, why aren't you doing this for? I was like, dude, they do a lot for veterans, especially around canopy parachuting team and all sorts of different things. They even Mark helped found the Foundation for Exceptional Warriors, which I got to get my scuba diving license with them as well too. But they're in the ultra premium, you know, they're not like the lead slingers and all this other stuff. This is you're going to taste it and you're going to know that they took the time and care to actually like.
All right, so everyone's just going to try just do a tiny bit.
Yeah, it's just a taste. Yeah, no, and that's one thing too, like going around tasting all these bourbons, you're not drinking the bourbon, you're just sampling it, you know, so it's a very splash. But the first one we're going to try is their straight bourbon whiskey, so it's their rye they have. All of them are pretty good stuff.
And you were talking about terms and everything earlier, so like straight means there's a meaning behind straight. I can't remember what it is. Do you?
I can't remember for sure. I should have brushed up on some of the stuff.
I think I know what straight means.
I believe it's just I know what the straight rye, I think it's just I think they can still blend it, but a lot of this has to do with proof contents and 51% corn mash.
All right, so it says it defines bourbon as straight is if the bourbon itself has spent a minimum of 2 years stored in a new charred oak barrel.
Which these are all bourbons, so they have to start a new.
So they're not. Maybe they're not using.
Well, what's the kind of alcohol where they use the?
They're not. I assume it means they're not using a used barrel from somebody else, because a lot of whiskey companies, a lot of bourbon companies buy like used Jack barrels and let their stuff sit in those barrels as an example.
Didn't we talk about that with the Upstream boys?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you
oh god,
you call it bourbon, it has to be a new new American oak barrel, charred barrel. I think it has to start out that way.
You guys, just the smell. Oh, am I such a wuss?
The smell is good. Let's give it a little shot.
I am not a big hard liquor. I know, but I'm not a big hard liquor person.
What do you think?
I mean, it seems fine. I didn't do like the shake afterwards.
Yeah,
I dig it.
Yeah.
So
good whiskey.
And I used to not be a right. I mean, I like Jack and Cokes. You know, I used to switch from Jack and Cokes and vodka Red Bulls. You know, back in the day.
Can I see the bottle?
And I tried it. You know, I got this weird thing. Like even like I want to meet your friend Luke, because like a handful of years ago, I was like, I'm gonna master the art of pork. You know, smoking it, doing all sorts of things. I've done a lot of credible things, and people are like, oh, why don't you do this? And I'm like, why would I do that? And they're like, everyone does that. And I'm like, so I got this line where I don't want to learn enough, where I take away just the basic essence of like.
Gotcha.
Because how many people, we could go out at a bar and everyone, this tastes great, this is awesome, enjoy it. Why do you have to tell them like all these intricate things, like why can't we just, a normal person, you can tell like, yeah, man, it tastes like bourbon whiskey and caramel,
Yep.
Because you get some of these are like pears and all this other stuff, and I'm like,
bourbon?
It also comes back to being a little pretentious too. You know what I mean? Like, I hate the idea of talking down to people, and it's also, you're not wrong. If you like it, it's yours. You like it. Like, there's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
You guys should have, I'll introduce you if you haven't heard of him, but David Young with Golden Chief.
Will he have whiskey?
His Golden Chief is a whiskey company.
Oh, okay. Then he can come over.
Which is a great story. Just to snippet that thing. So back in the 1800s, when Omaha was like a cattle yard, Golden Chief was the whiskey they were drinking. He brought that recipe back.
Down at the stockyards?
Yeah.
I bet our buddy down in Nebraska City would know the history on that.
I've heard of that guy.
Yeah, and so he brought that recipe back, but he's a master blender. And some of the things he's doing, like if you ever see him and he's got a black backpack, tell him to open that sucker up, because he's got samples of the things he's working on.
Oh, really?
And that has made me actually like I said, I'm not. I just want to be a basic person and enjoy things. I don't want to become this like. I watched a video of a guy trying it. They were like,
oh yeah,
throwing it out on the floor. I'm like, what is going on?
So what's the next one? Is there like a step up?
Yeah. So that was a rye. These next ones are going to be wheated bourbons.
Wheat. Okay.
Which I used to be strictly like
Andy, I can tell your eyes are already
guy.
getting a little glossy.
They were glossy before I showed up. So.
Okay. I just love giving Andy shit.
This is their small batch. This is probably one of my favorite ones. And then this small batch is the reason why a lot of Bravo Zulu events came about. Because
bringing people together.
Yeah, when all three of us start drinking
Well,
it.
every time I smell it, I want to.
With the splash of ginger ale.
Do you guys
stuff's
not
great.
do that?
No.
You don't smell it and do a little shaky.
Well, so
shake.
if you're trying to get into, you're supposed to get some of the notes from it. You're supposed to.
Is it because of
Put your nose
that? What is it making me do that?
You know what makes a difference too when you get into these is if you smell it with your mouth open.
Yep.
And you bring some of that
What?
air in through your mouth, and
So
also
you're-
no, you don't
Yeah.
smell. You don't
mouth
smell
breather.
through your mouth.
You got to let it get to your taste buds.
You smell, but you leave your mouth open, and you like when
Well,
you inhale through your mouth and your nose, and it gives you a little different.
Yeah.
You
Rather
pick
than
stuff up
just
from
the
it.
nose and closing my mouth, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, part of bourbon
Like
too.
smelling, you're not telling me to
Yeah.
smell this like smelling a flower.
No. Mm-mm.
Don't huff
Okay.
it. Don't
Well,
huff it.
and
That's what
and
I do.
Part of the bourbon experience is the aromas, right?
Yeah.
There's aromas
Yeah,
to
for
these
sure.
things.
Yeah.
Along
It's
with the
not as
taste.
strong if I have my mouth open and I smell it.
That's the point. Yeah. So then you get the little
You
different
And
taste
then
flavors
I'm
in there.
gonna be wasted because I'm like,
Like,
yeah, give me that.
You can do this with bourbon and beer, but like if you inhale and drink it and you inhale, hold it in your mouth till it gets to the same temperature, swallow it, and then breathe out through your nose. You can it tastes different. You get these settled notes of caramel or
Okay, let's
toffee.
go.
Yeah. Let's have
All
a
right.
cheers on it.
There we go.
Yeah.
Cheers. Cheers.
Too late.
You had it already.
I tried to hold it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
that's
can
one of my
taste
favorite
that
ones.
one's a little bit.
Yeah.
It's definitely
It's-
it's definitely different.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can
than,
say that.
than the first one for sure.
And I always tell people, drink bourbon or whiskey or whatever, or anything, how you like it. Who gives a shit, you know? Because
Like
everyone's
ice, soda,
ice, water.
Yeah.
Do people put soda in bourbon?
I mix
Yep.
mine with Mountain Dew all the time.
Yeah, Mountain Dew.
Mountain
I'm kidding.
Dew?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Actually, you don't know how much truth
Red
is
Bull?
to it, but evidently that was one of the reasons Mountain Dew was invented.
No.
Oh, if you look at their old
Jack and
logo,
Mountain Dew is a big thing.
If you look at their their old logo, you can kind of figure that
Well,
out.
we lived in Tennessee for a while, and they would call moonshine Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that was
Oh,
that was
true.
a,
Yeehaw
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeehaw. Was
yeah,
on-
but I mean that was I think that might have been
Each
one of the
one, I'm
original
getting
reasons
more and more.
for the
Yeah.
name.
Well,
Is that it's Mountain Dew? It's from
so
the
this
mountains.
this one I'm
It's
pouring a little
glowing
more for a
green.
reason.
It's not.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
So what do we got? What's the third one?
This is their barrel, and so I specifically
Whoa.
save certain bottles of these for a reason because they're the higher proof ones.
Because we're special.
Yeah. Well, no, for the tasting, people tasting
Oh,
because I try to
dang it.
prove a point.
Okay.
Essentially, but real quick with that small batch, if you're a big ginger ale fan, ginger ale in that small batch.
I actually do not mind ginger ale. When I was younger, I remember hating it.
You'll drink a whole bottle. So one of the first times that I actually got to take time out and enjoy this bourbon when they first started working with the president of RCPT, Bill Markham. Him and his wife invited me over to his house and had dinner and everything when the election was happening, President Trump,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. And I woke up like this, just opened my eyes, and I was like, what did I just do?
What happened to our country?
Oh.
Evidently, I spilled all the beans about deployment stuff and how I feel, how I operated and how I felt, and all
But
these
you're
sort of
still
things.
friends, so they still like you,
yeah,
right?
broke a glass. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's.
Oh,
there's,
so
yeah.
so again, full
the
circle.
whole
You're
nine
back to high
yards.
school
Yeah.
Yeah.
with that girl. You broke
Yeah.
the plant. Okay, okay.
And actually, I was engaged really young to this girl, and I hadn't spoken to her in like probably 15 years, but I called her.
Oh my
That
gosh!
night?
Stop it!
Yeah. I was like, oh shit, did I call you? She's like, yeah. I was like, well, I hope I didn't say anything too embarrassing. She's like, no, you're just talking about the forefathers and some other stuff.
Nice. That's what she wanted.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, she probably just wanted.
I mean,
you, yeah.
she answered it, so I was
So that's what
pretty
this
surprised.
stuff's gonna bring out.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Oh,
the small batch.
great.
But the nice thing about this barrel stuff, yeah, you're gonna get in touch with your inner memories here. This barrel strength is the smoothest barrel-proof bourbon you'll ever try, and I've done some blind tests, some blind studies, all sorts of things. Mm-hmm. This is undefeated in anything I've ever done. It is the.
Okay.
This is 126 proof.
So I'm guessing by the name, maybe you know this, is that this other stuff that we've drank, they distill this, it goes in the barrel, it sits all that. When it comes out, they proof it. It's too high to bottle or for wherever they want to bottle for.
Yep.
So they add water to it to get it down to 80 proof or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So a barrel can turn into a whole lot more than a barrel because they put a lot of water in it. With this being barrel proof, I'm assuming this is how it came out of the barrel.
Yep, it's a light charcoal filter, I believe, or light cold filter, I think, for this one. Straight into the bottle what it's proofed at.
No water.
Yep.
Well,
So I'm just thinking of when we used to watch Moonshiners. So this would be right out of the little drip thing.
Essentially, yep.
Except it goes to a barrel first and then sits there for a couple of years, and then you pour it out of the barrel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think these ones have to be aged at least 4 years, and I think these are 8, or maybe they might be 4. Again, there's lots of rules to this stuff. And,
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not in the rule game. I'm into the enjoying game.
Right.
You know.
You haven't tipped back yet, have you?
No.
So let's toast to BZ AG.
Yep.
Right. I mean, this has been
100%.
fun.
Yeah,
This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the third podcast I've done, and everyone wants me to come back. So
We haven't said
You'll
that
probably
yet.
be back.
Hey, I already said he's due for like 5 more. So
yeah. So when you said that, I'm like, dude, sign me up. I mean, this is fun, right?
this
it's a
is
podcast
great.
and stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm involved with a lot of different nonprofits too, and this sharing a story is really great. You know,
Yeah,
even just
That's
talking
what
with
it's
you
about.
guys.
Again,
and
this is
everything.
like a normal dude doing extraordinary things.
That's
Like,
what
that's
our
what
podcast
common
is all
folk- I mean,
about.
really,
That's why we
it's
call
like-
it common folk. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
pretty common, like, you know.
Like,
You
dude,
can, especially here in Nebraska, I don't know if I'd say especially, but at least how we've grown up, you can throw a rock and hit a military guy.
Oh yeah,
Like,
definitely.
that's what this area, there's so many military folks in this area. That's what brought a lot of people to this area. And it's a lot of common folk. And, you know, we had met you before. I don't know all the things that you have done. I wanted to learn about your background, these stories you're telling. It's like, it's extraordinary stuff. It may not feel that way to you, but
it is.
when people hear the stories, it's like, this is some guy that, you know, you're sitting at the bar next to that you didn't even realize.
Yeah.
Or is, you know, just down the street doing these super cool things you didn't even know.
Well, and it's not just an idea guy. You got plenty of ideas.
Oh, I'm
You got the ideas,
Yeah, we
but
could
you
do a
But he's
actually
podcast
following.
just on that.
Yes,
He
he's
follows
following
through.
through.
You're doing it. You're
Yeah.
doing it. So.
And that's the when we got super stressed out, like you know. And then I love military people and being really good friends because like me and Sean, we got in a tiff, right? But hey, we solved it. We're here.
Right.
But yeah, shooting my mouth off caused us a little stress. You know, we did 8 demos in 2 days one time. Like even the Corporal Dagan Page one, we woke up at 4 o'clock. Or no, was it the first one that
Yeah, it
morning?
was real early that
No, it
morning.
was Hero Stock, I think. Yeah, the weekend before that Hero Stock, we drove clear out to Sutton. Woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, drove clear out to Sutton, got into some random dude's airplane we've never even met before, and jumped into the Hunter Hogan Foundation for their golf scramble out in Sutton.
Okay.
Drove back, basically had 30 minutes to retrofit, eat something, and then we jumped into Hero Stock. So.
Good thing you know a good rigger.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, David,
Cheers.
to you, man. Bravo
Yeah.
Zulu.
Yes.
There we
Let's
go.
take this drink.
This
Let's
was
see what
fun.
this is like, huh? Here we go.
Oh, God. That is a lot.
It's smooth.
Smooth.
Okay, but you guys said smooth.
It's absolutely hotter. There's no doubt
so
about
it's got
that.
the spice to it.
Yeah, but it's good.
But it doesn't burn.
No.
No, I don't feel burning. I just
Mm-hmm.
am not a huge bourbon drinker, and
Well, at least you tried it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I didn't like it. It just always gives me the whew.
Oh, and it's warm. Like
Yeah.
I've got, like I'm
Yeah,
getting
for-
it now.
yeah.
Now it's warming
There
up.
isn't a burn,
It's a
but
good-
yeah, it is warm.
Good bourbon
okay.
for ice fishing.
Oh,
There
yeah,
we
that'd be
go,
perfect.
yeah.
I used to take Caramel Black Velvet, you know, in a flask out on the outside.
Oh my gosh, it'll warm you up.
Ben could use that in the deer blind.
Oh my
Exactly.
God, it's so cold out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is my hands down. Like, I mean, it's still a little spicy, right? I don't know what
Yeah,
the
it's not spicy.
bourbon fancy term is for that, but for barrel proof bourbons, it's hard to find anything
great.
that's smoother than that.
Where can folks find this? Do you have any idea?
So they just started distributing to Nebraska. I know the Rack, Bottles and Barrels, Gretna Wine and Spirits, Spirit and Things.
Or do they have?
I'll have it.
I was gonna say, can you order it like online? Probably not. They probably
not.
can't ship.
Yeah, you have to go through obscure websites
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
that
That-
ship it
that
from
carry
like
it.
Illinois
Yeah.
or something.
A lot
Which
of
is-
times their website will show you the different places
Yep.
carrying it. So.
Yeah, so if you actually go on to horseholderbourbon.com, It'll show you on their map. It'll show you what's carrying it.
Gotcha. Put in your zip code type of thing. Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's good stuff, man. I would definitely recommend it to anybody.
Yeah,
and plus,
it's really great.
Also the story behind it, the folks that are creating it.
Yeah,
it's badass.
We and there's, like you said, there's a lot more stories to be told. So we met these guys through Round Canopy Parachute Team, which is a whole nother nonprofit. I've been on the board for that for coming up on 10 years here. But one of the things we were working on was we jumped out of all airplanes, but primarily when we first started was World War II airplanes that we used during D-Day. Mm-hmm. We static line parachute out of those, military parachute out of those for fun. And we go over to Normandy every year and jump into the drop zones on D-Day, like all that great cross-channel jumps, all that stuff. So the 75th anniversary, they wanted to come out and they wanted to drop a barrel of whiskey into Normandy. And then everyone drinks it and has a good time, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, 100% we can do that. That's easy. Like, everyone's like, can we do that? And I'm like, yeah, we can.
Sounds awesome.
I was like, that's an easy airdrop. And we work with Skydive Palaca down in Palaca, Florida. They custom actually made a harness because that worked out really well because military gear doesn't always work. So they made a custom harness out of the straps that we use for airdrop. We put a T10 on it, which is the original parachute design that they even used back from World War II. A little bit of modification from silk to nylon, some other things, but we were in this group. All eyes are on RSPT for anything. There's a bunch of these Round Canopy groups, but pretty much all eyes are on RSPT, especially for these international things, because we're in like 11 different countries or something like that. But the French authorities, seeing that we no shit dropped a barrel of whiskey out of a C-47 that was used in D-Day, just chucked it. The commander of the team and Bob Pennington, and so Mark chucked it out of that. We put it all over our Facebook social.
Sure.
Turns out you can't import that much booze at one time.
Oops.
So they actually messaged us. I hope you're not really planning on doing that here. So actually what we did was we handed everyone 2 bottles to go over there. And so they jumped the old musette bags or the rucksack things that they have. People made a custom insert for those so they can jump. So every one of the bottles that we took over there got to jump into Normandy, France on the anniversary.
Oh, that's sweet.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
So you didn't drop a barrel in France?
Not in France.
I mean, they got a few other things to worry about.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And
some of those bottles got auctioned off to help some charities. And I think one brought in like $23,000.
Nice.
Dang.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was incredible. And even we did a rodeo where we jumped in with Mark, and it was at Flint Oak Hunting Lodge.
Oh, yeah.
Which, you ever heard of that
I've been
place?
there, I think. Yeah. That sounds very familiar.
That place is
Where's it at?
in Kansas, like middle of nowhere, Kansas. Olaf, Kansas, maybe. Or something.
Oh, I don't know.
That's
It's
further.
not
look
too
it
far
up.
from here. I don't think it is.
The most premier hunting lodge I've ever been to, but like a lot of people that I snapped a picture of it, and everyone's like, all my hunting buddies like, dude, do you realize where you're at? And I'm like, well, it is pretty fancy. They got like
Well,
20,
let's go. Come on, Andy. Hook us up. Chasing the dream. Come on.
They got top-rated chefs on the thing.
Yeah,
you
it's
walk in your
unbelievable.
room, there's ornate woodwork, your gun racks in the room. Like they're
really?
hunting,
Yeah.
premier hunting probably in the Midwest for sure. I'm sure there's some pretty crazy hunting lodges. Hospitality. I mean, Mark is a really awesome dude. So we were there for him.
Yeah.
But they treated me and Sean like kings too, and it was
That's
nuts.
cool.
Which Saturday night after the rodeo, we got back in. I drank too much vodka, don't remember, but they made me they made me chicken parmesan, like fresh, like the chef was back there cooking.
Who did you call that night?
Nobody.
Okay.
Took the cell phone away.
Yeah, vodka doesn't do it for me. Bad cell phone reception, but that hospitality of that place, they did like a shotgun shoot, and this was actually during the withdrawal of Afghanistan. So Mark was trying to work on some few things, so I actually drove him around to liquor stores all over Kansas, and so I had to ditch Sean, and Sean never shot sporting clays before.
Oh, no.
And that's what his big charity thing. So
Ooh.
they gave Sean, I can't remember the shotgun, but it's like an $8,000 trap shotgun, like a fancy.
Yeah.
They opened the vault and they're like, "Which one do you want?" I'm
He's like, I don't know.
I'm like, dude, these are insane shotguns, And Sean did pretty decent, I think, for not doing it. I had to ditch him to go drive Mark around. But one of the bottles there, they signed one of these, and then they had their Commander Select, which they sell for $595. Kind of, a tribute to Team ODA 595, which was their team that they went to Afghanistan as. But I think this bottle went for like $5,800 for the Boy Scouts there.
Okay.
You know? And the guy that won it was actually kind of funny. He just driving like a Mercedes like SUV with a brand new Can-Am, brand new decked out trailers, and brand new Can-Am. And we were kind of coming out like, who the hell does that?
This yuppie.
Yeah. But, don't judge a book by its cover. The dude actually bought both the bottles and then just went into the bar and popped them and let everyone.
Yeah.
You know, he spent quite a bit of money. I think he basically donated like $8,000 and just popped the corks. And I think he had one drink out of each, and everyone else got to try it. So
cool deal.
Super cool dude. But
wow.
Nice, man.
Good stuff.
Well, David, it's been fun, man. And people check out your guys' website, bzag.org. Learn a little bit more about what you guys have going on.
Definitely.
Check out the whole Horse Soldier Bourbon.
Yes.
We need to hook up with those guys. We need to get some of this in here for all the rest of our podcast.
We're gonna have to drop this down. You know, we're gonna get it.
We're gonna need a whole pile.
I know.
Yeah.
But no, it's great stuff. Great story. A lot of cool things going on. We definitely appreciate you coming out.
Yeah. No, this
thank you.
is always interesting just learning about like even these glasses to you know, being here and seeing all the things you guys do, you know, which I'm gonna get a tour on the way out.
Yeah, we'll show you around. Yeah. Well, cool, man.
Sounds
anything else?
good.
You guys got anything?
I think that's it.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Well,
All
let's
right.
close it out. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Peace.
All right.